Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the one method that takes cubers from, kind of slow to absolute speed demons. We're talking about going from minutes per solve down to just a few seconds. And here's a spoiler. It's not just about having faster hands.
So if you're anything like me when I started, you're probably using that basic layer-by-layer method. And you've hit that wall, right? That plateau where you just can't get any faster. You feel like you're doing everything right, but man, that clock just will not budge. Well, here's the secret. The big leap isn't just about raw finger speed. It's about using a way smarter, way more efficient system. It's called CFOP. Now that's an acronym for cross, first two layers, orient last layer, and permute last layer. Trust me, it's a total game changer in how you even think about solving the cube. All right, let's get into it. Step 1. Now, just like the beginner method, it all starts with that white cross. But, and this is a big but, for speed, we're going to tackle it in a completely different way. It's all about setting yourself up for the rest of the solve. Here's the first major shift in your thinking. You're going to build the cross on the bottom of the cube, not the top. Now, why would you do that? Simple. It frees up your view of the top layers, so you can actually see the pieces you need for the next step while you're still finishing the first one. It's all about playing chess, thinking a few moves ahead.
Okay, so to get this cross done efficiently, you absolutely have to know the cube's color scheme like the back of your hand. No exceptions. Luckily, cubers have this super simple way to remember it. When white's on the bottom, the sides always go in this order: green, orange, blue, red. G-O-B-R. The mnemonic? Just remember go bar.
And this is where the magic really happens. You know go bar, you're solving on the bottom. Now you can use that 15-second inspection time they give you in competitions to plan out all 4 cross pieces before you even make a single turn. The end goal here is to solve that entire cross in one smooth, fluid motion without ever having to pause and look for the next piece. It's pure muscle memory.
All right, cross is done. Now let's move on to what is honestly the most important part of the entire solve, F2L. And you're about to see how that bottom-facing cross we just made sets us up perfectly for this stage. This is where you're going to shave off huge chunks of time. So F2L, it stands for first two layers, and here's the core idea. Instead of solving the first layer and then solving the second layer, F2L does both at the exact same time. It's incredibly efficient. You hunt for a white corner and its matching edge piece, you pair them up in the top layer, and then you slot them in together as one block. You do that 4 times and boom, just like that, 2/3 of the cube is totally done. The trick to getting good at F2L is pattern recognition. There are really just 3 basic cases you need to know to get started. Let's look at the first one. It's the easiest. This is when your white corner piece has its white sticker pointing straight up. When you see this, there's a really simple set of moves to pair it with its edge and get it all lined up. Okay, now for case number 2. Here, things are a little different. The white sticker isn't on top anymore. It's facing out to the side. And the key thing to look for is that the other colors on top of the corner and the edge, they match. When you see that pattern, it's your signal to use a different, but just as quick set of moves to pair them up. And that brings us to our third and final core case. Again, the white sticker is on the side, but this time the colors on top of the 2 pieces don't match. Spotting this difference is so important because it needs its own special setup to bring them together. Look, once you can instantly see these 3 patterns and know what to do without thinking, you've basically mastered the heart of F2L. Okay, deep breath. First 2 layers are done. All that's left is the last layer. And for a lot of people, this is the scary part. It feels like you have to memorize, a million different algorithms. But there's a much easier way. So instead of trying to learn all, get this, 57 OL algorithms and 21 PLL algorithms, which is just insane when you're starting out, we're going to use something called 2-look OLL and PLL. What it does is it breaks the problem down into smaller chunks. And by doing that, it cuts the number of algorithms you need to know from over 70 down to about 10. All of a sudden, the last layer feels totally manageable, right? The strategy is pretty simple, actually. It's just divide and conquer. First up is OLL, which stands for orient last layer. The only goal here is to make the whole top face yellow. We literally don't care if the pieces are in the wrong spots. We just want all the yellow stickers facing up. Then, once we've done that, we move to PLL, permute last layer, and that's when we put all those pieces into their final correct positions. So for our 2-look OLL, it's just 2 steps. Your first look and your first algorithm is all about making a yellow cross on top. Whatever weird yellow pattern you have, one algorithm turns it into a cross. Then, for your second look, you'll use one more algorithm to finish off the corners. You're often looking for a pattern that kind of looks like a fish, which is easy to spot. And bam, the whole top is yellow.
And then we get to 2-look PLO. And guess what? It's the exact same idea. 2 steps. The first algorithm gets all your corners in the right places. A common pattern you'll look for here is called headlights. That's when you have 2 corners next to each other with the same color. Once you've got that sorted, you just need one final algorithm to swap the last few edges around, and that's it. The cube is solved.
So there you have it, the 4 stages of CFOP: cross, F2L, OLL, and PLL. But understanding it is one thing. The real question is, how do you actually practice this stuff and get lightning fast? Let's talk about that, because it's probably the most important part.
The key to practicing effectively is to break it down. Don't just jump in and try to plan the whole cross from day one. You'll just get frustrated. Instead, start small. Use your inspection time to plan just 2 of the cross pieces. Get to the point where you can solve those 2 with your eyes closed. When that feels like a piece of cake, add a 3rd piece to your plan. And then eventually, you'll work your way up to planning all 4 before the timer even starts.
What's so cool about this is that it illustrates a much bigger idea. The CFO method, it's not really just about a plastic puzzle. It's a perfect blueprint for how to learn any complex skill. Anything in life that seems totally overwhelming at first, you can master it by breaking it down into smaller, manageable parts, practicing each one, and then putting it all together. Which kind of leaves you with a final question to think about. What will you master next?